From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Tuesday, December 29th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
It's going to work very similarly to the first round of stimulus checks.
Now that the coronavirus aid package has been signed, we're taking your questions about the legislation to an expert and getting answers.
And just be reaching out, just be there for one another, whether it be your friends, family, or complete strangers. We're all going through this together.
Millions of Americans struggle with their mental health every day, and this year has heightened those struggles for many. This morning, we're talking to a local man about his journey and how he's now helping others.
So being remote is not slowed us down. It's not impacted us.
A local cybersecurity company is thriving despite the pandemic, and they're looking to hire Hoosiers. We've got everything you need to know to apply.
Thank you for starting your Tuesday right here on WRTV and Good Morning Indiana. Good morning to my teammates. I have hot cocoa on the stove, and you folks are welcome to come on down to Johnson County. It's on me. Lunch is on me. We'll see what happens.
Oh, look at here.
Just a quick drive in the middle of the show this morning. We can make it in the commercial break. No big deal. We've got to talk about the forecast because you're going to need the hot cocoa out there. Megan, this is kind of one of your first weeks in Indy, so welcome. And
Thank
it's kind of a roller coaster.
Brought
You
the
just
cold
don't really
with
know
me.
what to expect. Yeah, you brought the cold.
And I definitely wore my Uggs into work today, you guys. Todd, should I have grabbed my gloves today? Unfortunately, I had my puffy coat, but I left the gloves at home.
You could. It's definitely cold enough. You won't look, too much like a fool with your gloves on here. When temperatures are in the 20s. Now, if it was in the 50s, it'd be a different story. But you're just fine here today. In fact, I encourage you to grab the gloves and the hat and the heavier coat as you walk out the door, because here are your actual temperatures. We're in the teens and 20s this morning. A little warmer, if you want to call it that, in Bloomington at 28 compared to 17 in Peru. 22 is the current temperature in Indy. Skies are partly cloudy here in the city, clearer to the north as you look off to the west. But the clouds, there's some out there, but they're falling apart right now. And I do expect some sunshine here, at least for the first half of the day, when we need some sunshine. Little vitamin D after yesterday when we were locked in with all the clouds from start to finish. But here's the storm system that's eventually going to be heading our way. We won't have to deal with the snow, thankfully. We'll deal with quite a bit of rainfall, though, throughout the day tomorrow. So today, if you have anything you want to do outside, I know it's a little chilly. Maybe you're taking in the Christmas lights. Tomorrow's going to be wet from start to finish. So an opportunity to do some outdoor stuff today if you just bundle up a little bit. We're in the 20s here throughout the morning hours. By the noon hour, we finally hit the freezing mark and then becomes overcast later on this afternoon with temperatures in the mid-30s. More on the storm system that's going to bring us the rain tomorrow coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. I want to take a look at our traffic now map this morning. As you can see, traffic overall, especially on the interstates, traveling smoothly. Everything is green this morning, so that is good news. I do want to take you over here to the west side where we could have some traffic tie-ups this morning on a busy street, Washington Street, due to a grease fire. This is near Lyndhurst Drive, and the exact address is a Wendy's location there along Washington Street, so it could tie up traffic a little bit as crews are responding to that. We know IFD is at the scene. This is something we'll keep monitoring throughout the morning. We'll let you know if there are any areas that you need to avoid, but just take it slow and pay attention as you travel on Washington Street over here on the west side. Raphael.
Lauren, this morning, our state is inching closer to an unfortunate major milestone involving coronavirus, with just under 500,000 positive cases reported in Indiana. State health officials say that 496,306 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. That's including nearly 2,500 cases that were recorded between Christmas Eve and this past Sunday. As of this morning, the state's positivity rate, it now stands at 11.5%. Of the positive cases in Indiana, more than 27,000 are being reported in schools. Now, those numbers come from the 1,886 schools which have reported at least one positive case. That's an average of about 14 cases per school that's reporting cases. Now, by the way, since the school reporting system is voluntary, 307 schools have not reported their COVID-19 cases to the State Department of Health, and 175 schools have reported no cases at all. To put this all in perspective, December has been the deadliest month for Hoosiers since the pandemic began. This month alone, 1,762 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. To date, 7,539 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19 statewide.
Raphael, 2 FDA antibody drugs with emergency approval could keep COVID patients out of the hospital, but thousands of doses are sitting unused across the country. Our partners at Newsies spoke with Dr. John Hammer. He's an infectious disease specialist in Denver. Dr. Hammer is currently waiting to start a study on Eli Lilly's antibody drug, but getting IV centers up and running administering the drug is proving to be difficult.
We have a place where we could do it that would be safe for providers and for patients, but we just can't get the staffing or haven't been able to get it up and running to date.
Numbers show that more than 530,000 doses are available, but only a little more than half have been shipped to hospitals, and even less are getting to patients. Only 5 to 20% of doses have been used.
And at 6:06, another COVID-19 vaccine could soon be on the market. On Monday, Novavax announced it's starting phase 3 trials of its vaccine in both the U.S. and Mexico. The trials will have about 30,000 participants. They'll be 18 years or older and include people from different races. The company says that some people will get 2 injections 21 days apart. Others will get the placebo. Participants will be followed for 24 months following their second injection. The study will take place at locations with high transmission rates as well.
And this morning, we're working to get answers for you about the $600 stimulus checks. Eligibility is based on the 2019 tax returns, of course. Full payments will go to individuals making up to $75,000. Each dependent child age 17 and younger is eligible for another $600. Michael Jameson with On Target CPA says if you did not get a check the first round of stimulus relief, you could be eligible this time.
Let's say maybe your income went down. So maybe your income was over $100,000 in 2019. So you haven't not gotten into the stimulus checks in 2020 because of the pandemic. Maybe your income went down. Anybody who would qualify for the stimulus payment based on their 2020 tax return when it's being filed, they'll get the money when they file that 2020 tax return. So just because your 2019 information is, you don't qualify for it, you are going to get the money added to your refund or subtracted from your balance due when you file your 2020 return.
You can find more details on the stimulus bill right now on WRTV's app.
Well, it's something that you are not alone on. Millions of Americans struggle with mental health every single day. And right now, with the pandemic and the winter season, it's just heightening those struggles for many Hoosiers. WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson spoke with a Rush County man who's now working on his own mental illness so that he can help himself and others. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. I spoke to Drew Hahn from Rushville, and he says he knows the struggles of mental health all too well. He says after his 3rd attempt at suicide, he finally got the help he needed, and he's now able to talk openly and honestly about his mental illnesses and hoping that others will do the same. Hahn tells me he attempted suicide for the first time in 2012 after battling an undiagnosed mental illness. He says after his 3rd attempt, he got the help he needed and is now able to speak to others about his experiences. He says navigating this pandemic is hard for everyone, but for those dealing with mental illnesses, the pandemic plus the winter months and the holiday season is a very difficult time, and he asks everyone to work together right now and show empathy.
When it comes to mental health, we just need to be practicing empathy all around, just for everyone, whether it be on social media, in person, and just be reaching out, just be there for one another, whether it be your friends, family, or complete strangers. We're all going through this together.
For Hahn, he says besides talking to his therapist, his family and friends, journaling is what has helped him get through this pandemic so far and now these winter months. He wrote a blog on winter depression, and I've linked that for you. I linked that for you on this story on the WRTV News app. Now, if you are struggling with mental health and you are in the Indianapolis area, you can call 317-251-7575. Again, that number 317-251-7575, or you can text CSIS to 839-863. And then, of course, in an emergency, you can always call 911. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
To another issue now impacting thousands of Hoosiers, homeowners concerned with those 5G structures popping up in their neighborhoods are now getting the attention of several lawmakers. Many homeowners say they felt blindsided by 5G technology just popping up right there in their front yard. It's an issue that WRTV Investigates has been following now for a year. Let's take you to the North Willow Farms subdivision. It has about 400 homes, with many concerned residents. Verizon has already built 6 5G structures in that area alone and is planning another 9. Many homeowners, as you can imagine, are worried about their property values as well as the potential for health concerns. They took their concerns to state lawmakers, including State Senator J.D. Ford. Ford now plans to file a bill in the legislature in the days to come. If passed, Ford's bill will give homeowners a bigger voice when it comes to the placement of those 5G structures and an improvement in the notification process.
The big thing is that when you go through this process as a homeowner and you realize you don't have, there's nowhere to go to, there's no one to talk to about your concerns, there's no way to fight back. And so the fact that Senator Ford is taking this on is huge, because for us it gives us this sense of that the system works and that our elected officials are concerned, they hear the concerns of homeowners, they take them seriously.
Now here's the other side of the story. CTIA, which represents the wireless industry, says on its website, in their own words, typical exposure to 5G devices, such as small cells attached to phone poles or the sides of buildings, is far below the permissible levels and comparable to Bluetooth devices and baby monitors. Now, 5G structures are going up because Senate Bill 213 passed in the legislature back in 2017. That bill authorized a massive rollout of small cell wireless structures all over Indiana.
Coming up, a cybersecurity company is looking to hire Hoosiers. Up next, what you need to know about the jobs available and how you can apply.
It's a dry day for us today across central Indiana, but things are going to be changing in a big-time way over the next few days. Our first of 2 storm systems is just off to our west. This is going to be heading our way by about this time tomorrow. Once it arrives, the rainfall is going to be pretty steady throughout your Wednesday. We'll break down this first storm system and look ahead to the second one for New Year's Day as well, coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Your studio at Value City Furniture.
Welcome back. Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative is all about connecting you to new jobs and opportunities, and there are Hoosier companies hiring right now in this pandemic. This morning, I'm taking a look at how an ever-expanding field of cybersecurity could help provide you with some job security in these challenging times.
So being remote is not slowed us down. It's not impacted us.
Ron Pelletier founded his cybersecurity company Pondurance here in Indianapolis. And even though they're headquartered on Meridian Street downtown, the move to remote work in this pandemic virtually does not affect the work they do to protect clients from attacks.
It's not diluted the level of service to any degree.
When he created Pondurance in 2008, he saw a growing need for companies and organizations to fight back against cyber attacks. And now, with more than 50 full-time employees on board, he's expanding with nearly 20 new positions open.
You don't have to be the most technical person to be successful in security. There's a lot of analytical skill that's needed.
Jobs that attract and retain skilled workers in our state.
We have an opportunity to keep some of the I want to say graduates here, those from Purdue, from Rose-Hulman, from IU, Ball State, and so many others, where they don't feel like they have to go to the Amazons or Microsoft.
People like Jason Ortiz.
Grew up in Brownsburg, and I graduated from Purdue University, studied computer science there. And then I'm actually what's affectionately known as a boomerang. My wife and I left Indiana for about 8 years. And then in 2017, we came back for a great opportunity here with Pondurance.
He's a senior product engineer with Pondurance, leading a team of engineers in application development.
You know, cybersecurity is a huge and important field. And at the end of the day, we're protecting, data, we're protecting privacy, we're protecting systems.
But the open positions aren't just for those with programming or engineering backgrounds.
There's a sort of misconception about careers in cybersecurity. You do not have to be a programmer to get a job in cybersecurity. We have roles that cross pretty much every single discipline that you would imagine with any business.
Working for you, Lauren Casey, WRTV.
And Ron tells us he can relate to some of the people who are struggling right now in this pandemic, as he founded Pondurance after losing his own job in the recession in 2008. He encourages anyone who has any interest in this field to apply. For more information, you can visit our website, hiringhoosiers.com, and just click on this story. It is 6:18 here on our Tuesday, and Todd, we are rounding out 2020 with kind of a roller coaster in the weather department, keeping you busy.
And I think most people will probably say 2020 hasn't been their favorite year, and it's going to go out with a roller coaster ride for us here in central Indiana. Temperatures up and down, 2 storm systems, mainly rain though for us here in central Indiana. So let's dive into it for you with the details. Skies are partly cloudy right now across the area where the skies are a little clearer. It's a little bit colder. It's cold everywhere, but we're in the teens in northern locations, 17 in Peru, 19 in Tipton, 28 in Bloomington, 19 is the current temperature over in Greenfield, and a pair of 2s in here in Indianapolis. Temperatures remain in the low 20s until sunrise right after 8 o'clock, and then we'll start the moderation up into the freezing territory as we head into the noon hour. So temperatures will warm with some sunshine here throughout the morning hours, and then this afternoon the clouds will kind of settle back into the area. It becomes overcast with highs that will be topping off in the mid-30s, 36 in Lafayette, 35 in Kokomo, 37 in Muncie. All these temperatures that you'll see are pretty seasonable for this time of year. Our average high is right around 36 degrees in most locations. 36 in Indy today, 38 in Martinsville. Could touch 40 in some locations down to the south. Bedford, Bloomington over towards the Seymour area. With dry conditions here throughout the day today. You'll notice the clouds increase throughout the day, but we don't expect any precipitation today. That changes tomorrow as this storm system will start to head our way. Now, it's mainly snow off to our west. We'll be on the mild side of things. In fact, temperatures tomorrow will be spiking up into the 50-degree range, making for what will be a mild but very wet day. Beautiful shot of the town square there down in the Bloomington area. As far as the temperatures go this evening, we hold steady with the cloud cover in place, and then the temperatures will actually come up a couple degrees as we work our way into the overnight hours. As far as the rain goes, let me walk you through this hour by hour. Tomorrow, 6 a.m., the rain already moving into northern locations, probably dry until about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning in the metro area. But this whole band of rain will just settle southward as we work our way throughout the day. And so we get into that steady rain. It's light throughout most of the day, but you'll just kind of have to have the umbrella handy, the rain jacket, the boots with for the puddles out there. And so as we work our way throughout tomorrow, just plan on a wet day. There could be a little bit of light snow on the backside of this as the colder air comes in. No accumulation expected with this storm system as we work our way into Thursday morning. Anything that does fall should just melt away with temperatures tomorrow in the 50s and all the rainfall. Here's how it breaks down. Rain from start to finish, highs right around 50 degrees. That was the first storm system. Let me take you to our second storm system now. Fast forward to New Year's Eve, 10:30 p.m. We ring in the new year with rain approaching. I think most of us probably get in okay after the midnight hour with dry conditions. But early Friday morning, as some of this rain moves in, there could be a freezing rain mixture, especially in northern locations for New Year's Day. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It goes over to all rain now, and the rain on Friday has the potential to be a little more steady across the area, a little more heavy as well. And the combination of the rain on Wednesday and Friday could lead to a little bit of localized flooding across the area going into the weekend, but the weekend does give us an opportunity to dry out. That is the good news with temperatures that will be in the upper 30s. The time now is 6:21. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
Right now.
Welcome back. Time now is 6:24, and here is what's trending at 6 o'clock. Raphael and Lauren, we got lots of good stuff to get to. So starting with this.
I'm not even paying attention. I'm sorry.
We're talking trending, man. He's on it.
I was watching Netflix. I'm sorry.
Oh, Cognac. No, he's good. Well, archaeologists, take a look at this, have unearthed an ancient snack bar in the ruins of Pompeii. The Italian city, of course, was destroyed by a volcanic eruption in 79 AD, and the shop was adorned with colored paintings depicting animals and that were likely on the menu. Wow, fun fact there. there. And traces of 2,000-year-old food were found in terracotta jars. Archaeologists also discovered accessories like a decorated bronze drinking bowl, ceramic jars used for cooking, and wine flasks and bottles. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I've been there, and it is crazy to see all the stuff that they had back then that they have dug up. So I'm kind of sad I didn't get to see the snack bar.
No kidding.
That's pretty cool. Okay, well, take a look at this. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are looking to extend their royal exit deal with Buckingham Palace. The couple, as you may remember, stepped down as senior royals earlier this year. According to The Sun, Harry and Meghan want a 12-month extension that would allow them to continue working as non-working royals out in California. The pair reportedly plan to meet with the Queen and other senior royals to discuss the terms of this extension in a series of video calls in the coming weeks. Harry and Meghan's current deal with Buckingham Palace is set to expire on March 31st. So
we wish them all the very best, right? I mean, we hope they do well and it's all going to work out. Now, listen, speaking of deadlines, today is the day you want to complete whatever you need to do before the year ends. Did you know this? This is National TikTok Day. TikTok, come on.
Hey.
And time is running out to complete those goals. Have you made all those charitable donations for tax purposes? Have you used the remaining funds in your flexible savings account? Those are all adult things to do. From a personal point of view, there may be a few things that you need to tick off your bucket list, or your goals could be small ones like finishing a book or maybe clearing out your closet, Todd Clausen. I say, let's leave all those things for 2021. I think 2020 has been a handful, and I'm just ready to get this thing done. Todd, come on, 2021.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Raphael. And let's just get to Friday morning, right, and bring in the new year. Temperatures here this morning are chilly. We're in the teens and 20s across the area. A little colder to the north, but obviously cold everywhere. You need to bundle up with all the warm weather gear that you have here this morning, especially if we're going to be out for an extended period of time. 20 in Greencastle and Richmond, 19 in Tipton, 17 in Peru, 20 in Bloomington. Where are we going for highs? Well, it turns into a seasonal afternoon. The clouds will increase. The best opportunity for sunshine here will be this morning, but temperatures eventually into the mid to upper 30s for most of us. So you still need to bundle up. We're dry today. Tomorrow, rain returns to the forecast. More on that, Megan, coming up in just a couple minutes.
Thanks, Todd. Well, this morning, the FBI is putting out a warning about scammers trying to cash in on coronavirus vaccines. Mandy Gaither has what you need to look for to avoid becoming a victim in today's Consumer Watch.
In the fight against COVID-19, scammers are looking to cash in. The FBI now warning Americans of vaccine scams, which include ads or offers for early vaccine access for a fee, paying out of pocket to be on a vaccine waiting list, which doesn't exist, offers for additional medical testing or procedures when you get a vaccine, unsolicited emails or calls from someone claiming to be from a medical office, insurance company, or vaccine center requesting personal information, claims that the government requires you to receive a COVID-19 vaccine, and ads for vaccines from unknown sources or claims of FDA approval for an unverified vaccine. To avoid becoming a victim, get up-to-date information on vaccine distribution through your state's health department website. The FDA is also updating their website on which vaccines have been authorized. Consult your doctor before getting a vaccine. Don't share your personal or health information with anyone other than those who are known and trusted medical professionals. Check your medical and insurance explanation of benefits for any suspicious claims and report any errors to the company. Finally, follow guidance and recommendations from trusted sources like the CDC. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It is 6:30 here on Good Morning Indiana. Let's take a look at your 6:30 news feed. Terre Haute police say the man accused in that Christmas Day murder has turned himself in. Philip Adderson turned himself into authorities down in Johnson County. Adderson is accused of killing 38-year-old Sarah Henderson of Terre Haute. Her body was found in a storage unit on Friday.
This morning, flu activity in the Hoosier State remains low. The State Department of Health reports just 1% of patients visiting area health facilities report flu-like illnesses. So far this season, 2 people in Indiana have died from the flu. Both individuals have been at least 50 years old.
And more honors coming in for the IU football team. The Associated Press has named wide receiver Ty Freifogel and linebacker Micah McFadden as third-team All-Americans. Congratulations, and those Hoosiers have played 7 games this season. Congrats once again to Freifogel and McFadden on this honor. The Hoosiers play Ole Miss in the Outback Bowl on Saturday, in case you want to tune into that, you guys. I know I will be. I'm a sports fan over here.
And you're a new Hoosier, so
I am very proud of that.
Some of the local teams, right?
Absolutely,
oh my goodness. Well, we have got to talk about the weather. And Raphael, I know you were asking about if I wore my big scarf today. It's a blanket scarf, and no, I didn't wear that one today. I wore a regular scarf, so the only thing that was exposed to the air was my eyes, because I also had my mask, I had my scarf, so I was all bundled up in case you were worried.
Well, listen, I'm always worried about you, Lauren, but you know, the only thing I wanted for Christmas was to power up that snowblower, and now Todd Clausen is telling me I have to rebuild my ark. So I'm not sure, Todd. What's going on here, man?
You definitely will not need the snowblower, but yeah, you may have to keep an eye on that little creek in your backyard there.
Yeah.
Raphael, it might start to come up a little bit here as we work our way into Friday, as 2 storm systems will be heading our way over the next couple days. Today, though, is going to be dry. You get going this morning. If you have to get up, head off to work here this morning. Skies are partly cloudy, but as Raphael, Lauren, and Megan were alluded to, you have to bundle up a little bit here. 21 rather in Lafayette right now. 22 in Indianapolis. 28 is the current temperature in Bloomington. A little more in the way of cloud cover to the south, but overall mainly clear skies. And yesterday was such a dreary day with just the solid overcast skies and the temperatures in the 30s. So we'll welcome the sunshine in here this morning, although the clouds will start to increase as the day goes on. The precipitation that you see off to our west, which is mainly snow, that will start to head our way tomorrow. But by the time it arrives in our area, we're talking about just rain, as temperatures will be climbing tomorrow to right around 50 degrees. Today, though, we stay in the 30s. In fact, we're in the 20s throughout much of the morning with some of that sunshine, and then increasing clouds this afternoon, becoming mostly cloudy with high temperatures that'll eventually be topping off right around 34 to 35 degrees across most of central Indiana. More on the rainfall that will be pretty steady tomorrow coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, let's get an update on the roadways.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at our INDOT traffic camera. This is here at I-65 near Raymond Street. This is just south of the downtown area. Here you can see traffic is traveling smoothly. It's picking up a little bit both northbound and southbound, but it's not slowing down at all, so that is great news for your commute. The only issue I'm monitoring at this hour on the roads is a vehicle fire. That one's reported at Moeller Road and West 43rd Street. That's on the northwest side. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your commute this Tuesday morning.
Thank you, Lauren. Well, the community is stepping up to help a Madison County family with 3 young girls after a Christmas Eve fire destroyed their home.
There's nothing left in my room, my fiance's room, the baby's room, part of my middle daughter's room. There's clothes, but there's so much water damage that I don't think they can be saved.
Ashley Waldrop says the fire started in an outlet by their front door. Thankfully, no one was home at the time of the fire. And now those living in Frankton are rallying to help the family. Neighbors have stepped up to donate clothes, bedding, toys, furniture, and other household items that the family lost. Ashley says they also helped save Christmas.
It's crazy. Everyone has been, my phone hasn't stopped going off asking what we need, but I had someone deliver 2 boxes of gifts to my parents' porch Christmas morning. Mrs. Betts made stockings for my girls and myself. So we had stockings because they were in the house. And they just made sure that they had something to open that morning.
Neighbors helping neighbors, that warms your heart. And a GoFundMe is also raising money for the family. The state fire marshal is investigating the fire.
Now to the latest on the pandemic and its impact on the Hoosier State. Here are the latest numbers as we have them from the State Department of Health, which reports nearly 2,500 new COVID-19 cases. As of this morning, Indiana has had more than 496,000 cases since the pandemic began. 152,000 of those have been reported in the month of December alone. Health officials say that 43 more Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Since March, more than 7,500 Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus.
The
Lauren?
time right now, Raphael, is 6:34. Nearly 1,000 long-term care facilities in Indiana are now distributing the COVID-19 vaccines to their residents. And WRTV was there at one of those facilities, Aspen Trace in Greenwood, as they began administering doses on Monday. So we spoke to Bruce Lech as he prepared to get his vaccine. The 91-year-old says he has 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandsons. And so he is ready to see his family without a window separating them.
My family can't come in and I can't go out. And they can look at me through the window in my room, but that's as close as they can get. I'd like to see them in person. We can leave things here at the door, or I can leave things, they can leave stuff, but they can't come in.
Okay.
That's tough.
So officials say that pharmacy teams will make 3 visits to each long-term care facility, ensuring residents like Bruce and the staff receive both doses of the vaccine. The vaccination effort for residents at long-term care workers is expected to take about 12 weeks.
Oh, that warms my heart, Lauren. Thank you. Well, millions of Americans struggle every day with mental health issues. This morning, we'll introduce you to a Rush County man using his battle to help others.
And the pandemic, as you know, continues to impact the way we eat, the way we socialize, the way that we enjoy culture. We're heading back to a local favorite to talk about what it takes to stay open. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
Let's go places.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:39. In this time of separation, Raphael, we want people to know you are not alone. Millions of Americans struggle with mental health every single day. And now with the pandemic and the winter season, it's just heightening those struggles for everyone.
It's a serious issue for so many Hoosiers, and WRTV's Kelsey Anderson talked with a Rush County man working to help himself and many others. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So I spoke to Drew Hahn from Rushville, and he says he knows the struggles of mental illness all too well. He tells me after his 3rd attempt at suicide, he finally got the help that he really needed, and now he's able to talk openly and honestly about his illness, and he's hoping that his doing that is going to make others want to talk openly and honestly about theirs as well. So Hahn tells me he attempted suicide for the first time in 2012 after battling an undiagnosed mental illness. He says after his 3rd attempt, he got the help he needed and is now able to speak to others about his experiences. He says navigating this pandemic is hard for everybody, but for those dealing with mental illnesses, the pandemic plus the winter months and the holiday season is a very difficult time, and he asks everyone to work together right now and show empathy. He says if someone reaches out to you about their struggles, there's no right thing to say. Just try to be there for them the best you can.
A lot of times saying nothing even, letting them have the space, just hold that space. If you're talking on the phone, let there be silence, let them cry. There have been times my mom would lay next to me in the bed and just let me cry because she knew if she tried to say something, I would just be like, Mom, you don't get it. And a lot of times they will rebuttal if you don't get it, and that will be a common thing that you hear.
So Hahn says besides talking to his therapist and his family and friends, journaling is what has helped him get through the pandemic and now these winter months. He wrote a blog on winter depression and how to handle it, and I've linked that for you on this story on the WRTV News app. Now, if you're in the Indianapolis area and you are struggling with mental health right now, you can call 317-251-7575, or you can text CSIS to 839-863. And then, of course, in a case of an emergency, you can always call 911. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. This week to ring in the new year, we're featuring some of your favorite local businesses we've met on our We're Open Indy series. And this morning, we're visiting the hot spot that brings big Cajun flavors to Indiana. Yats Cajun Creole has successfully carved out a loyal set of fans over the years. And the original location opened in 2001 at 54th and College, but it has since expanded to include a dozen locations across Indiana, Ohio, and Tennessee. Owner Joe Vescovich says For the most part, his business has been fortunate during this pandemic. Online ordering, curbside pickup, and nice summer weather for outdoor seating has all helped his business during 2020. And the shutdowns from the beginning of the pandemic have been lifted.
Well, originally we had to close 5 of the locations, but we've since then reopened Nashville, Tennessee, and Greenwood, so that's been good. We were lucky. I mean, part of it thanks to you. You know, we got a lot of positive response from being on WRTV, and it was great for us.
Happy to help, and Joe says he looks forward to the success of the COVID-19 vaccine so everyone can come together again and enjoy food, art, and music.
So if we just get through this, it'll be good again. I have faith and optimistic all the time that things are going to be better. And as long as you have optimism, you believe that it's going to be better, you can put up with anything. That's part of the beauty of doing this. When you see people are happy, or you see them, or you see them if they're unhappy, you can fix what's wrong.
Well, that definitely makes me happy, and you can find our full feature on Yats, including a link to all their Central Indiana locations at WRTV.com/open.
I love the rice at Yats, by the way. The pandemic has forced a number of Hoosier families into a financial nightmare. New this morning, I talked with housing experts to get a look at how the pandemic is impacting Indiana's housing market. But first, let's check on your forecast on this Tuesday with the one and only TK. Good morning.
Hey, Raphael, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. It's a dry day for us today. That is the good news. Take advantage of the dry weather because we get into a pretty wet pattern here. 2 storm systems head our way. Rain chances are high tomorrow. In fact, I think it's pretty much a washout. Some rain and snow chances on Thursday, then more rain on New Year's Day. We'll break it all down for you coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
Come on, Chad. Whatever it takes.
Time now is 6:46. The pandemic has forced many Hoosier families into a financial abyss. Many having a hard time paying for rent or even their mortgage, Raphael.
And Megan, on both of those issues, they impact many Hoosier neighborhoods. I had a chance to speak with the chief economist at CoreLogic. It's a global company which tracks many things, including the health of the housing market here in Indiana, as well as across the country.
What has been the impact of this pandemic on homes and mortgages?
What we've seen is a dramatic rise in the delinquency rate on mortgages. For example, in the Indianapolis metro area, in June, the 90-day delinquency rate more than doubled from what it was 1 year earlier. So it's had an immediate impact already on the ability of homeowners to stay current on their mortgages.
And as you track that number, right, obviously that number is staggering. What is the implication? Because sometimes we think, oh, well, it's not happening to me. I live in Bloomington. I live in Kokomo. I may live in Franklin, all suburban areas in central Indiana. It's not happening to me, Doc. So what is the impact as you share that number? What should I be thinking about if I live outside of those areas?
It affects the ability of those families to contribute in terms of economic activity in the marketplace. And what we've seen is that it has had a ripple effect. And ultimately, especially if home prices should weaken in the next year or two, it could contribute to distressed sales in the marketplace.
What is your message then to homeowners?
If you're considering buying a home, this is a very good opportunity to buy because mortgage rates are at unforeseen low levels. 30-year fixed-rate mortgage rates are below 3% right now. That actually helps to reduce the monthly principal and interest payment that a home buyer would be paying, even compared to what they would have paid, say, a year ago to buy the same house. It's a great opportunity for first-time home buyers to make that transition into home ownership.
I want to thank you for joining us here on WRTV. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks for having me today, Raphael. Anytime.
And that recent COVID-19 relief bill, which just passed the U.S. House, expected to slow down the financial pain, though some consider that measure just a simple Band-Aid. We'll keep you posted on those latest developments. Time now to check your local forecast on this Tuesday with our own meteorologist, Todd Clausen. Good morning, Todd.
Rafael, good morning to you. It's a dry day for us today, and that's the good news, although it's starting off very chilly here across the area. The skies cleared overnight. We finally got rid of those clouds. Once that happened, the temperatures dropped down into the 20s, 22 right now. It feels like 16, though, when you factor in just the light wind out of the north at 5 miles per hour. And some of the actual temperatures this morning are in the teens for those of you tipped in Kokomo, Peru area. Richmond, you're down to 19 degrees, 18 in Greenfield. Just slightly warmer, if you want to call it that, in Bloomington and Bedford at 28, with just a little more in the way of cloud cover in place in those areas. We finally get some sunshine in here briefly here this morning, as we'll have partly cloudy skies, but the overall trend throughout the day today will be for the clouds to increase. So eventually it does go mostly cloudy this afternoon, with temperatures that'll be climbing up into the mid-30s for your afternoon highs across the area. No threat of any rain in the forecast for the day today. Here are the clouds breaking apart. Off to our west, though, you'll notice this storm system, which is bringing some heavy snow to parts of Nebraska and eventually Iowa here throughout the course of the day today. This is the first of two storm systems that will be impacting not only central Indiana, but much of the country as we go into New Year's Eve and eventually into the new year. This one, though, the center of low pressure will pass to our west. That is important because it keeps us on the warm side of things. So with the exception of a brief period of some wintry mix in northern locations, by about this time tomorrow, it's mainly going to be rain. Temperatures this evening will hold steady with the clouds in place. So as we go forward throughout the day tomorrow, it's pretty much going to be a washout with steady rain throughout much of the daytime hours. Once we get to the evening, the rain will kind of taper off. But it's a pretty wet stretch of weather. Tomorrow, we're looking at about a ½ an inch to an inch of rain. Thursday, some snow showers in the morning with minimal accumulation. And then the second storm system on Friday brings an additional ½ an inch to an inch of rain. So by the time we get to the end of this forecast period in Friday, there will be the potential for some flooding across the area. The rain tomorrow will move in during the morning hours, arriving in the metro area by about 8, 9 o'clock. The rain will just slowly make its way southward throughout the day. I don't think it's really all that heavy throughout the day tomorrow, but it's pretty persistent throughout the day. It ends in northern locations first, and then eventually we'll bring some colder air in. And by Wednesday evening and Thursday morning, again, a few snow showers will be working their way into the area, especially in southern locations. But with the wet ground, with temperatures near 50 tomorrow, we're not going to be dealing with much of anything in the way of slick conditions from obviously the snow, but obviously also rain can slicken up the roads as well, so be careful. Tomorrow, temperatures will spike all the way up into the 50-degree range. Now, going forward in this forecast, when you add up all that rain, you notice our scale here. Once you start getting into this purplish color, that's where we're going to see 2 inches of rain. The blue colors, as you work your way to the north, about 1 to 2 inches. Again, this is a combination of the rain tomorrow and the rain that we will see as we work our way into New Year's Day. The other thing I will point out, on New Year's Day, temperatures in the morning hours could be around freezing. There could be a brief period of freezing rain very early on Friday morning before we spike to 52 degrees, and that'll change everything over to rain. But a very active end to the year as we get into Saturday and Sunday. An opportunity to dry out a little bit with temperatures that'll be in the mid to upper 30s. The time now is 6:52. We're back here in just a couple minutes on Good Morning Indiana with your latest news headlines. Stay with us. We'll see you then.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana.
Todd Clausen is tracking changes in your forecast for tomorrow.
But first, let's get to today's top stories. A man shot by Kokomo police is at an Indianapolis hospital this morning. Officers tell us that the incident started around 6:30 last night behind a Goodwill store along Markland Avenue. That man reportedly showed a handgun while police were responding to calls about possible gunfire. That investigation is still ongoing.
Homeowners concerned with 5G structures in their neighborhoods may get help from the state legislature through a state lawmaker. Homeowners have expressed potential health concerns from 5G and the impact to their property values. Senator J.D. Ford plans to file a bill in the State House in the days to come addressing the placement of 5G structures.
And we do want to get a look at our forecast for today. Todd, what can people expect as they head out the door this Tuesday?
You know, it's a quiet and seasonable day for us here across the area. I do think we'll have some sunshine this morning, although the clouds eventually went out this afternoon. But tomorrow's a wet day from start to finish pretty much, with a light but steady rain, but it's all rain, 50 degrees. A little bit of a wintry mix early Thursday morning, very minimal accumulation or impact. And then as we get into Friday, New Year's Day, it's another wet day as temperatures will be climbing into the 50s. Could be some flooding issues by the time we get to Friday evening, as the storms from Wednesday and Friday could bring 1 to 2 inches of rain.
Thank you, Todd. And we're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic updates. And remember, all of your news throughout the day can be found on the WRTV app. Just go ahead and download it right now. Thanks for watching Good Morning Indiana. Have a great rest of your morning.